So I'm just going to do a quick introduction. I want to welcome the folks that are on the call to our Navigating Online Sales webinar. I'm Jessica Murnane. I am with the Hoosier Young Farmers Coalition, and I'm your host for this evening. And before we get started, I want to thank our partners, which are both IU and Purdue, for pulling this together. They are instrumental in helping us connect with farmers and then getting the word out that we are having these across the state and letting people know about them. So we want to thank them. We also want to thank SARE. We got a grant from them, which was the other reason we were able to pull this together and bring farmers in and be a part of this. So we really want to thank them for their support. And we couldn't have done it without their grant. So thanks to SARE. As we know, we are recording these. So for folks who weren't able to join us this evening, they'll be posted online on the Hoosier Young Farmer Coalition YouTube page, which will send the link out to everybody who registered, and we'll post it in emails and on the website and all over the place. So you can watch or rewatch any of these webinar sessions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rosie to give her presentation. Thank you so much, Rosie.
Great, thank you. Well, my name is Rosie Sill, and I'm co-owner of Earthsong Farm with my husband, Mike. And we are a small family farm in Greene County in southwestern Indiana. And we have a small market garden and a homestead, and we raise animals and produce and children. And our naturally grown produce, we grow intensively year-round on less than an acre. And our outlets for our produce, we've been doing the Bloomington Community Farmers Market for 10 years, the Bloomington Winter Farmers Market for 7 years. We started a CSA this year, which was one of our responses to COVID. So this is our first, we actually, the very first year we farmed together, like 15 years ago, we had a CSA. And now we've done it again. So CSA this year. We also have done like a produce buying club. When we have extra produce, we'll directly sell to our customers outside of the market. And then also this year we joined the Linton Farmers Market in Greene County. So that's our first year with that market. So I just want to first say that I am not very techy, so I'm going to do my best with screen sharing and such, and so be patient with me. My teenage son educated me beforehand, so hopefully I can remember how to do it. So this evening I'm going to talk about how we responded to COVID-19. And we took several steps. So I guess I should start, in March when everything started to heat up and we realized what was going on, we started to, after kind of having a momentary freak out of, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? We need an outlet for all of this produce that's in the garden right now. Once we had that realization, we started to take several steps that we thought were necessary to keep our business going this year. And one of those steps was to maintain relationships with our existing customers, since we could no longer see them face-to-face at market anymore. And then another step we took was to reach new customers, which is also something that was important through market interactions. That's how we get our new customers. And then furthermore, we set up several outlets to make our produce available. So in the past, we've just sold through the Bloomington Farmers Market, the Tuesday market and the Saturday market. And so this year we branched out so that there are other options to sell our produce. So to give you an overview, I'm going to try and share my screen here of what I'm going to be talking about. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to talk about how we, what we did for customer outreach, what our produce outlets are, what has worked well for us, what we're proud of, and what I think every farmer needs to know. So I'm going to start by saying that this crisis has added an incredible amount of work to my plate. And not in the field. I mean, the work in the field is the same. We're doing the same thing, but in front of the computer, as I'm the one that does all of the business kind of stuff for our business. So it's added an incredible amount of computer work for me, where I, to market our produce, update our stores, communicate with customers, do social media stuff, so on and so forth. And so it's caused a real shift in how I spend my time in my days, which is, rather than out in the field, I'm here at the computer, maintaining all of these different aspects of our business that are now on the internet. And to be honest with you, I miss the simplicity of the farmer's market, where you harvest and you just take it and you sell it and talk to customers, and it's so easy. And also, to be honest, I think I'd rather be weeding carrots than be sitting in front of the computer all day. And as you all know, weeding carrots is not the most fun thing to do on the farm. So, but regardless, I'm grateful that we have this tool, because it has allowed us to continue having a successful farm business. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is customer outreach. Let's see if I can make this. Here we go. There are a few things that I did when we were faced with this pandemic in March, to continue reaching our customers. And the first thing is that last year our farmers market had a disruption, and our market was closed down for a couple of weeks. And when that happened, I realized how important it was to have contact information, the contact information of our weekly customers, so that I could reach them. Even if there wasn't a farmer's market, I could contact them and let them know how to get their hands on our produce. And so at that point last year, it was about a year ago, I started an email list. And so I started collecting customer emails at our farmer's market. I asked if people wanted to sign up on my email list. And so over the past year, I have collected a large amount of customer emails. And that is just one of the best business moves I feel like I've ever made, because I have relied on that list quite a bit, and it has grown significantly, not only from meeting new customers at market, but from my customers spreading the word to their friends, and their friends joining our list, or also from people contacting us through these different forms of customer outreach that I'm going to talk about. And then I added them to my email list. So the email list has been incredible. And every week I've been able to email our customers and tell them how to get our produce. So I would tell them, last year, this is the farmer's market we're going to be at, this is what we're going to have. And since this whole pandemic has started, I've emailed customers every week and let them know when our personal, I'm going to talk about these things later, these different aspects of how we get our produce out there. But I've been telling them when our personal store is stocked, and what the deadline for ordering is, and the pickup information. I also will email them and let them know when we stock the store, that the online store that the Bloomington Community Farmers Market is using, when that is stocked, and what those order deadlines are, and how to order. And I'm sorry, my personal store is also an online store, just to clarify that. And then I also will, in my email, tell customers what markets we'll be attending. So this has just been huge. The pros of the customer email list is that, well, the pros are that it creates a more personal relationship with customers. So that relationship that I have grown with my customers all of these years at market, that just kind of came to a screeching halt when we no longer had a market anymore, and we weren't selling face to face, which is what happened. It started in March, our markets were canceled. So I still had this way to communicate with them and let them know what was going on the farm and how to get our produce. And another pro is that usually everyone uses this form of communication. Email is easy, and most people use it. The downside of email is that actually not everyone does use email. I do have a few customers that don't, which is crazy to me. Or the email can go to spam and someone will never see it. Or if someone gets a bunch of emails, it can get overlooked in their inbox. Another thing that I did in March, when all of this began, is I created a website. And I haven't done I've always used email, but I hadn't done a lot of these other things that I'm going to talk about because I really never needed to. Market served us well in reaching people, so I never felt the need for all of these other things. But then once this pandemic happened, I realized that I needed to be able to reach people, and I wasn't going to be able to do it across the market table. So I created a website, and I'm going to show you. This is our website. And I created a free website. That was important to me. I didn't want to have to pay any fees. And I used Wix.com. And so here's our website. And it shows the different ways to get our produce and contact information. The different ways to get our produce, just like down below. And then, you know, I also talk about our farm, how we grow, who we are, where we are. So this has been wonderful. I thought this would be a great consolidated source of information for folks interested in our farm, not only for our existing customers, but also for anyone new. Any new folks that were looking for local food, searching the internet, searching the farmers market, they could go to our website, find out who we are, and then find out how to get our produce. So I linked this website to our Bloomington Community Farmers Market vendor profile page. They have a profile page where all the vendors can put a little plug about their farm, and so I linked it there. I emailed it to all my customers and asked them to pass it along to their friends and family. And then I also linked it to our Facebook page. And the benefits of this of the website, I feel like, is that the information is consolidated all in one place. You can find out who we are, how we grow, where to find our produce. You can contact us. So I think that is excellent. And then also, it's user-friendly. It's a very user-friendly website. I tried to set it up very simply. I liked the options that Wix.com gave me. And then I also think the picture display, especially as a farmer, when you're trying to market produce online, I think that's a huge challenge. You know, food is such a personal thing. Customers want to see it and touch it and hold it and smell it. And, you know, that's what people do at your market booth. So I felt like it was crucial to have these incredible pictures of our produce so people could see. So I feel like this is a great way to share that with customers. So the drawbacks to the website is that it was incredibly time consuming to set it up, and there was definitely a necessary learning curve. I just kind of figured it out on my own. I don't think there was any kind of like tech support. I think I just somehow figured it out, but it took a really long time. But now I'll always have it. It's here. It probably needs some revising. But I think it's great. And there are several folks that have contacted us through our website. So it's definitely worth it. Another thing I did for customer outreach is I created a Facebook page, a Facebook farm page. Now, I don't do personal Facebook, so this was new territory for me. But I felt like, you know, everybody's doing social media, right? This is how you connect with people. This is how you spread the word. So I thought, okay, I'll do it too. And on that Facebook page, I felt like we would be able to reach more people, and that's why I did it. And so I linked our Facebook page to our website, to the Bloomington Community Farmers Market vendor profile page. And I sent the link to all of my customers, to my customer email list. I asked them to pass it around and to like me or follow me or share me or whatever. I still didn't even understand Facebook, to be honest with you. I'm trying really hard. But I asked them to do all those magical things that one does on Facebook to spread the word and help me get our farm name out there and let people know how to find us. And I also liked the farmers market pages that we participate in, because I think that's what you're supposed to do too. So, and I also, I've used Facebook to make posts whenever our produce is available. So if I fill our personal online store, I would make a Facebook post to let folks know that they could order from us directly and all the details of that. I'll make a post when the Bloomington Community Farmers Market online store is full, when we fill that, and let people know the ordering details. And then I also make posts to let people know, hey, we're going to be at the Linton Farmers Market this weekend. Here's what we have. And sometimes I've made just fun posts here and there about, I don't know, look at our beautiful lettuce. Don't you want to make a salad with this? Because we have a huge amount of lettuce right now. So, and of course, I always post beautiful pictures of our produce. And so I try to do it a couple times a week, but I'm not really big into Facebook, but I'm doing my best. So I think one of the benefits of Facebook is that I think a lot of folks use social media. So it's a great way to reach people. It's a great way for people to share my farm with others, or share my posts with others. And it seems like with the knowledge of how to use Facebook appropriately, and if you get enough followers or likes, then the word can spread pretty quickly. And it has worked. I've had a lot of new customers contact me through Facebook. So it's worked. So it was worth it. A drawback to Facebook, and this is going to sound totally ridiculous for anyone who just understands how this works, but I thought there was a huge learning curve with Facebook. Now, it's not something I grew up with. It's not something I've ever used. And I just felt like it was not intuitive. I was so frustrated in figuring out how to use it. I was so frustrated in figuring out how to use it. And I managed. I got it to work, I think. And so that was a challenge for me personally, is that it seemed hard. And I also think that the more active you are, the more effective it is. And I'm not super active. Like I said, I make a post or two a week. So the fourth thing I did to reach customers is I joined Local Harvest. And I think this is an excellent organization. And I thought it would be a great way to reach people that I normally wouldn't reach in my, in this area that we've already been selling. The people that are familiar with us is what I'm trying to say. It would reach people beyond that. So I set up a Local Harvest page for our farm, and I included information about our CSA and about our buying club and the farmers markets that we are participating in, how to contact us. And I can't remember if you have to pay $30 to join or if that gives you more exposure, but I paid $30 to join, and it's been great. I've gotten TSA customers from it, inquiries about joining our buying club. So it's been excellent. And, the benefits of Local Harvest is that folks that do internet searches, people that do live in our area but don't know about our farm might do a search on Local Harvest to find the kind of produce that we grow and the growing methods that we use. And so it allows them to find us or find our CSA. So I feel like you can reach, what I'm trying to say is I feel like you can reach a greater audience by using Local Harvest. So it's been great. And, I wouldn't call it a drawback, but we had to pay $30. So that would be the only, I wouldn't call it a drawback, but. So now I'm going to talk about produce outlets. And, like I said, last year, our only outlet for our produce was the Bloomington Community Farmers Market. And so this year in March, when all of this began to happen, we started to panic a little bit because the markets were so uncertain. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if there was going to be a farmer's market. Our winter farmer's market was shut down mid-March. And so thank goodness for my email list. The weekend that the market was shut down, I emailed all of my customers and took orders, basically. I took orders or told them where I would be, and we just made direct sales to them. But my husband and I decided that this was the year to start a CSA. We've talked about it for a long time, and we felt like this was the year to take the leap, because basically it was kind of like our insurance policy, since we didn't know if there were going to be farmers markets. So we started our CSA, and we currently have a 31 member CSA, and we still have folks asking for shares. And this has been such a great thing. I absolutely love the CSA model. It's always been what I've wanted to work towards, and it's been wonderful. It's served as an outlet for our produce. It's a guaranteed sale during this time when we don't know if we'll be taking stuff to market, and it maintained that incredible relationship that we've developed with our customers. A lot of our regular customers joined our CSA this year, so it's been awesome. The only drawback to a CSA is just the anxiety of filling the weekly shares. We know we can grow the produce, but we can't control the weather. And right now it's super dry. We're spending a lot of time watering, so there's the stress of that. And it was a super cool wet spring, so things didn't grow as well as they normally would. And every year there's always some kind of crop failure, or something doesn't produce as well as we think it should. So you all know this as farmers. So that's the drawback to CSA, but we're making it work. We have super happy CSA members. I am absolutely loving this relationship with them, and I'm so happy that we chose to do this year. Another produce outlet is we have been participating in the Bloomington Community Farmers Market, and they decided to do an online farmers market store this year, starting in April, which is when that market starts up. And they have been using Local Food Marketplace, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. There's Local Food Marketplace. This is our producer page. So I just thought I would show you this. This is the producer page on Local Food Marketplace. The customers can go to this page and read about our farm, how we grow, who we are, and then at the bottom of our page it lists all of the things we have for sale. This is what's all in our store this week. So the way that this works is we have to have our store stocked every Tuesday by 6 a.m. So that means Monday we have to know what is going to be available to harvest on Friday so that we can distribute it to customers on Saturday. And so in April they were doing a drive-through market, so we harvested we put everything online on Monday, harvested on Friday, dropped it off on Saturday, and then the customers drove through and picked it up. And then in May they moved to an on-site market where the farmer, or the vendor I should say, because they're prepared food vendors as well, brings their pre-sold products to the market, and they have been allowing a certain number of customers into the market at a time to pick up their orders that they already ordered online. And as of last week, I think last week was the first week, they are now doing on-site sales. So that's added a whole new twist to everything. So that's how this market has worked. So I'm going to share my thoughts about the Local Food Marketplace. And first of all, I am so grateful to the Bloomington Community Farmers Market for doing this, because it was rather expensive. There was a huge learning curve. They put a lot of effort into making it available to us, showing us how to use it, being there to run the market. So I'm just really grateful that they pulled this together. another one of my thoughts about this is that about the online market, or one of my observations, I should say, is that customer sales have been down this year for us, but it can be due to a couple things. I do think less folks are buying online for several reasons that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But our sales could be down because we have had less produce this spring because of the weather. Things didn't grow as fast as they normally would. And also starting in May, we had a CSA to fill, so we haven't had as much available. But still, there are certain things that if we had them, that we would sell out of if they were on a table at market, that we're not selling out of online. So that's been interesting. Regardless, it's been incredible, and we're so grateful to have it. The challenges with this online market is that some customers don't want to go to market to pick up their produce because they're concerned about COVID. So there are less people participating in the online market. Another challenge, I think, is that it's hard to buy produce online. I can't imagine being a customer and looking at these pictures and buying based on the pictures. You know, a lot of people want to see the head of lettuce that they're buying, or pick out their bunch of beets, or you know, be able to see the produce, which I totally understand. So I think that has been a challenge, and customer sales have been down. I believe customer sales, well, I know they're a lot less through the online market than they would be at a live market. We're also lacking the social aspect of market, which we have to remember. Obviously people come for fresh local food, but another reason that folks come to a farmer's market is the social aspect. It's huge. Coming and spending the morning with your friends, your family, listening to music, talking to your favorite farmers, getting a coffee or a sweet treat or whatever, and we don't have that. So I think that is another reason that sales are just different now than they would be at a face-to-face market. So in the produce, you know, displaying produce on a table at market, big beautiful piles of carrots and beets and big beautiful heads of crisp lettuce, the produce generally sells itself at market, and it doesn't work so well online. It's hard to show in a picture, you know, this head of lettuce, what it really looks like. I tried to take good pictures, but you know, you can't really tell. And so we're finding, for example, we usually sell out of lettuce at market, and it has not been selling as well online. And I think a couple factors. I think there aren't as many customers, and a lot of farmers have lettuce, but I also think folks can't see it. I mean, if they could see it, I think it would fly off the table like it usually does. So that's certainly a challenge that we have found. A huge challenge with this online store is that we have to fill the market on Monday, as I mentioned. And as farmers, you all know that things grow significantly from Monday to Friday, which is our harvest day, or they don't grow at all. So to know how many bags of spinach you're going to be able to harvest on Friday by looking at it on Monday is a huge challenge, or how many bunches of carrots, or how many bunches of radishes, or, you know, it's been a real challenge. And so we have tended to be very conservative with our numbers, because obviously we don't want to oversell our produce. So sometimes we've gotten to Friday and realized, wow, the spinach really grew this week. We could have sold 30 more bags, or whatever. And so that has posed a real challenge to selling online, to pre-selling things online. A little detail about this particular online store is that one time I forgot to put a price on our lettuce. And so I sold 14 heads of lettuce for $0. And I'm so grateful that a customer emailed me and pointed that out. So I contacted the woman that runs this program, and she was able to change it, and everything was okay. Everything worked out fine. But it seems like, you know, with all of our technology, that a program could be designed to catch something. If there is something in the online store that is priced for $0, you would, you know, if the program could somehow not allow it to actually go live on the store. That's just my little 2 cents, but I would never know how to how to do something, how to fix something like that. Another thing I found stressful about selling online or in pre-selling things is I sell a lot of herb starts in the spring, and I'd put these plants online on Monday and sell them through the week, and just be so nervous that something would happen. The cat would eat the catnip, or I would forget to water them, or anything. It stressed me out to pre-sell plants, because that's another thing that you want to see a plant before you buy it. So I'd get stressed out that that the customer wouldn't be satisfied. Oh, it's too small or something. So that was stressful, but it all worked out. And at the actual market, my husband has been going to the market to distribute the customer orders, and he said there's a lot of downtime. The market is from 8 to 1, which is our normal market hours, and they only allow 75 customers in at a time, I believe, to pick up their orders, and it's super slow. So that can be frustrating as a farmer, because there's always a bunch of work to do at home, and if you're just standing around, that can be challenging. So as I mentioned, they are now allowing on-site sales with the Bloomington Community Farmers Market. So that could shift things a bit. Maybe there are going to be more we did see less sales online last week, whatever the first week that the on-site sales started, we did see less online sales. So I don't know if more people were coming on site as opposed to online. So it's going to be interesting to navigate this new thing with this market. So the benefits of this local harvest marketplace is that, well, the benefits of an online market and pre-selling is that everything is sold that you take to market. That's a wonderful feeling. The truck leaves in the morning with full tubs of produce, and they're going to come back empty. So that's awesome. A wonderful feature on this is that you can update, and I don't have the right screen up here. You can update your availability during all of the days. They close. Ordering is Tuesday morning to Thursday night at midnight, and throughout that whole time period, we can update our inventory. We can add to it or we can take away. So that's been awesome. Today we harvested peas and we thought, oh, we have more pints of peas to sell, so we added more to our store. So that's great. And the other wonderful thing that I love about this particular store is that you can get a very detailed pick list by item or by customer, and it can be an alphabetical order. And so every Friday we print our pick list by customer, in alphabetical order by customer's last name, so that when the customer comes to Mike at Market, gives them their name, he can look on the sheet and pick their order quickly right there for them to give it to them. So that is an awesome feature. And another great thing with online markets is you don't have to handle any money. So that's always a nice thing. Now, something else that we did around this time, I believe at the end of March, when our winter market closed, before the Bloomington Community Market decided that they were going to do the local harvest. Yes. We decided to, let me find it here, sorry. We decided to go ahead and do our own online market store. And we chose, because we were selling to customers and I was just emailing customers and telling them what we had. They would tell me what they wanted, and then I would have to keep track of who wanted what and make sure I didn't oversell anything. And then we were just meeting customers and selling directly to them. And that was in March and even in April when the Bloomington Community Farmers Market started up. So what I did to streamline that process is I created our own personal farm store, and I used Square site. So here's our farm store, and we have not, that's our booth at Market in the spring when I'm selling a bunch of herb starts. So we have not actually used this since April, because once our CSA started up and once the Bloomington Community Farmers Market moved to vendors having to be on site to distribute the customer orders, we couldn't really juggle a separate direct sale to customers on the same day as the market, which is what we were doing before. So we haven't used this, and it's worked fine, but it's here, it's in place, and I can, we can use it if we want to again. So this worked really well for us in April when the Bloomington Community Farmers Market was doing a drive-through market. And we had, like I said, we had to fill our store on Monday, and then Friday was harvest day. So if we were out harvesting spinach in the morning and we found out that we had way more available than we had in our Bloomington Farmers Market store, then I would run in and I would stock this store with whatever extra stuff we had, because spinach has to go. And I would email my customers immediately. I would post on Facebook that our online store was full, and then I would give customers a cutoff time. Like here, I said orders must be placed by 5, and so that way we were still able to deal with the excess produce that we had that we weren't able to take to Bloomington because we didn't have the store stocked with it. So this worked well. They complemented each other really well in April. So Mike would go Saturday morning and he would drop off the orders to the Bloomington Community Farmers Market, and then he'd drive over to another location in town and he would meet our customers that bought directly from us through this Square site and drop off their orders to them. So it really complemented the market in April. And then, like I said, once CSA started and once we had to be on site for the Bloomington market, we stopped doing this. So the benefits of this are that it really complemented the Bloomington market. It creates a really nice storefront, I think, and it's very user-friendly, simple to use for purchasing, and it also tracks the inventory. This is the storefront, so you can't see my end where I would be able to change the inventory, but it tracks the inventory so that we can see as things sell, we can see how much is left. We can change the numbers if we need to. So that was a great feature, just like the Bloomington online market. And then it also sent me an email every time someone would, it would send me an email every time someone would place an order. And it also sends an email to the customer and lets them know what they ordered and gave them a confirmation and the pickup location and time. So that's all great. It's free, which was awesome. I wanted something that was free. And then also customers pay through Square site, and the money went directly into my bank account a couple of days after the sales. So that was excellent. The challenges with this is that there are fees charged to the customers. So we did compensate for that in our prices, and I just made a little note here to let customers know that our prices are slightly higher to cover those fees. No one ever complained about that. I think customers have been very understanding through all of this. And then also the other thing, a couple other things. One is there is not an easy pick list with this site like there was for the local food marketplace. That pick list is incredible. This does not have one. You have to export the pick list to Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets or something like that, and then you have to play around with it to make it functional, and that's not my thing. I didn't have the patience to figure that out. It was very frustrating to me, and fortunately we never had a huge amount of orders, so I was able to just take time and jot down what those customer orders were. Did not like that. Another thing is that there have been a few challenges in figuring out how to use the store or how to change certain components of the store, and that was frustrating too. They do have customer support either chatting online or through phone calls, and I've used both. The challenges, but it's not as, I don't like this store as much as I like the local food marketplace. But I'm grateful for it, and it has served us well. So what has worked well for us? All of the different forms of customer outreach that I discussed have worked great. We have received inquiries about our CSA, joining our produce club, people wanting to join our produce buying club, I'm sorry. And actually, when people inquire about our produce buying club, that really was I just added them to my email list to let them know when we would be filling, to keep them informed of where to get our produce and when we would be filling our personal online store. That's our produce buying club, so to speak. So all of those outlets, Facebook, website, we've gotten inquiries from all of them about our CSA and our produce buying club, and it's been great. It feels so good to know that all of that hard work and all of those hours and even tears sometimes and trying to figure things out, because it all paid us back. Our CSA has been hugely successful. It has been the perfect year, in my opinion, to start a CSA. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that till we make it through the summer and see what the weather does. But as far as sales, it has been really awesome to have that outlet, because we grow a lot of produce and we could not sell it all at the market right now. So I'm really grateful for that. Our customers are our strongest marketers. They blow me away. You know, if you have a good product and good customer relations, that is one of the best things you can do. And our customers have been our best marketers, sharing with their friends. I've had so many folks email me and ask to be added to the email list. They found out from one of their friends who is one of our customers, and it's just been great. They've spread the word about my email list and our CSA, so I'm really grateful for them. And then good record keeping has been huge this year, especially with using the online store with the Bloomington Community Farmers Market, because we've done a really good job of, when we're harvesting, looking at we harvested this many bed feet of carrots, and that's how many bunches. This is how many bunches we got from that many bed feet. Or we harvested this whole bed of spinach, and we got this many bags of spinach. So that has been huge in helping us stock our store from week to week. Obviously, there are always many factors at play, but that has been a huge guide to help us know, okay, from this bed we can get 60 bags of spinach. And I'm just so grateful that my husband has done an incredible job keeping detailed records of all of that, because that's really what saved us. That's really what saved us in the beginning and helped guide us into knowing how much we can stock our store with. What are we proud of? Well, I have to say, when all this began in March, I don't want to say freaked out, but like all of a sudden, this is our livelihood. This is how, we are market gardeners. This is how we support our family. This is how we pay the bills. This is what we do. This is our income. And so all of a sudden, when you're faced with market closures and uncertainty of market, we don't know if we're having a farmer's market this year. That was incredibly stressful. And there was a moment of, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But we felt that moment, and then we moved forward and took the bull by the horn, so to speak, and started thinking, okay, what do we do? Here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start a CSA. We're going to reach our customers. We're going to do other markets. We're going to do the online store. We persevered. We made it work, and we were successful. We've been successful in all of our efforts. And so I'm really proud of our perseverance and not letting this huge challenge that we've all been faced with deter us. We stuck with it. We did it. Of course, that's what we farmers do. We persevere. I feel like that's in our blood. That's how we face our challenges, because you have to, basically. And then the other thing I'm so proud of is our customers. Our customers, we've been doing this for 10 years, and we've had customers with us the whole time. And the relationship that we have developed with those customers is incredible. You know, they're our family. I always call them our farm family. And they have been so supportive over all these years through everything that we've been through, because our market has been through quite a bit over the past year. And our customers have stuck by our side. And I'm so proud of them. They blow me away with their support and their dedication to local farmers and local food, and it's their support that has been so inspiring, and it's like the fuel that keeps us going in these super challenging times. And you know, when things become uncertain, I have customers calling me and emailing me, we want your produce, we want to support you, how can we find you? And that feels incredible to know that this hard work that we're doing is appreciated and valued. And I just can't say enough about and this community that so deeply supports local food. And the last thing, what every farmer needs to know. Well, these are some very wise words from a farmer mentor of mine whom I very much admire, and she has helped me get through hard times as a farmer. And I have taken these to heart, and this is my outlook now with all the challenges that we meet. And what I think every farmer needs to know in the face of any challenge, whether it's a drought or market closure or crop failure or sales going down a market, anything, or like the raccoons eating my corn, anything. What's so important and what will always get you through all of those challenges is, first of all, to be creative. You have got to be creative in how you approach situations. You have to. Second thing is think outside of the box. Clearly you need to find other ways to make something work. And it might not be, usually is not, just the normal line of thinking. You have to think beyond those normal lines and figure out another approach. You have to think outside of the box. And then finally, try new things. And I think that can be super scary for all of us. And this year has been a huge year for our business to try new things, to branch out, put ourselves out there, do things that we haven't in the past. And it's all been super scary. We started a CSA, we picked up another farmer's market, doing these new things. And it's scary to try new things. It's also what leads to success, is when you try new things. Sometimes we fail, but oftentimes we don't. And I just think that's critical in being a successful farmer and a successful human being, and in running a successful business. So be creative, think outside of the box, and try new things. And those are my closing words and what I have to share with you.
Rosie, that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask some questions. Jessica, do we have time for like 2 questions?
Yeah, absolutely. If that's okay with you, Rosie, do you have a few minutes for questions?
No problem. No problem.
Awesome. I realize I'm super dark. I'm still here. I'm just back. So one question I had for you was, do you have a sense of like what's next for you in terms of the online marketing? Is the idea just maybe continue with the same for now, or do you have a sense of like how things are shifting at market? Are people changing their buying habits as we maybe go to a sense of normalcy, but now maybe cases are spiking again, and so maybe they're getting scared again? I don't know. I'm curious from the veg.
That is a great question, and I don't know. We did not participate in online or on-site sales last week. I'm pretty sure last week was the first one. Or maybe it was the week before. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter, but we have not participated in the on-site sales at the Bloomington market because we have been testing the waters at another market. So we have taken things to this other market to see how it goes there.
Cool.
So Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's exciting to branch out into another community, and it's in our own county. So I'm really excited about that. It's a super small market. Like, it's the opposite of the Bloomington market. It's super laid back, and it's such a different scene, but it's great, you know? So I believe we are going to start doing online sales in Bloomington. So it will be interesting to see over the next few weeks, like, if the online sales decline and the on-site sales increase, because they are tracking how many customers are coming in for just on-site sales.
Nice.
And so last week the online sales were down, but I believe the amount of customers that came in for on-site purchasing kind of balanced that out. Do you know what I'm saying? And brought it back to where it had been. The two together like equaled normal or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because I think it's such a personal thing. Like, it will be interesting to see how folks respond. It just depends on how they feel, whether they feel safe or not, you know, and if they feel safe coming on site. But I would think that a customer would want to buy on-site produce, you know. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'm not sure. I'm you know, this online market is in place for the year, as far as I know.
Okay, good for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, so they'll continue. They purchased it for the year, for the whole season. So it is there, and I am sure they will continue to use it because there are a lot of compromised folks that don't want to come to market.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to figure out the same thing too, right? Like, how do we adjust and swerve? So yeah, we just keep waiting and watching.
It's rolling with the punches, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Or taking it one day at a time. I mean, maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but it kind of feels that way. Honestly, that's how this year has felt. But
yeah.
But it's okay. You know, I feel like farmers are some of the most adaptable folks that there are, because we have to be, right? So we'll make it.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask one other question, which is just a practical, quick one. How can you see when you send out your emails? Is it like through MailChimp or something like that, where you can see how many people are opening your emails, or do you have a sense of, how many are actually reading them or clicking or what have you?
That is a good question. So for my CSA, I send out a CSA newsletter for MailChimp, through MailChimp. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that information through there if I knew how to see that information. I am not techie, but I think I've seen what you're talking about, where you can actually view how many folks have opened it, right? For my custom MailChimp newsletter to my CSA with beautiful pictures of the farm and a little bit more detail about what we're doing here. And then for my customer email list, I just send a customer email out through my Gmail account. So I can't see, but that would be super cool to know. I do know that that folks have really enjoyed my emails, because I'll share things that are going on with the farm, or what's going on in my life, or Rosie's ramblings, whatever. And I have gotten so much positive, and it's just been to maintain those relationships, you know? And I've gotten an incredible amount of positive feedback. Our customers love those emails. They look forward to them. I really enjoy writing, so that comes through in my emails. It's my fun little, I mean, it's for the customers, but it's for me too, because I enjoy writing about my life. So that's my outlet. That's my thing. I can write, So I do know that a lot of folks enjoy that. Number-wise, I don't know. I have several times sent out emails saying, hey, do you want to be taken off the list if this isn't something you want anymore? I'm happy to remove you. Or, hey, shall I continue this? Do you enjoy this? And I always get flooded with emails of, yes, don't stop. We love this. We love hearing about your life and the farm and what's going on. So
fantastic.
I continue. So, but that would be awesome to know those stats.
No, well, it sounds like you've got the data, though. I mean,
I just have the,
it's more qualitative, but it sounds powerful. So
yeah, it does. I really enjoy it. So I continue.
Very good. Thank you. I think I took up all the time. I'm sorry that there's that's all the Q&A time. Maybe I'm sorry.
That's okay. I talked a little longer than I was supposed to, didn't I? Is that okay?
It all fits in, so it all worked out. So
Okay.
Rosie, thank you so much for your time this evening. We really appreciate it. Liz, thank you for your insightful questions, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the evening.
Yes, sounds good.